नंदनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, text number 34. न भारतीमेऽङ्गमृषोपलक्ष्यते न वै कचिन्मे मनसो मृषा गतिः न मे ऋषिकानि पतन्त्यसत्पथे यन्मन्निरुद्धोत्कठन्वता धृतो हरिः न भारतीमेऽङ्गमृषोपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मृषा गतिः न मे ऋषिकाणि पतन्त्यसत्पथे यन्मे हृदोत्कण्ठ्यवता धृतो हरिः न भारतीमेऽङ्गमृषोपलक्ष्यते न वै क्वचिन्मे मनसो मृषा गतिः न मे ऋषिकानि पतन्त्यसत्पथे यन्मे हृदोत्कण्ठ्यवता धृतो हरिः न never Bharati statements may mind Anga O Narada Mrisha untruth Upalakshate prove to be na never why certainly Kvachit at any time me may mind manasaha of the mind mrisha untruth gatihi progress na not may mind rishikani senses patanti degrades asat pate in temporary matter yet because may mind hrida heart outkantyavata by the great earnestness dhritaha caught hold of harihi the supreme lord. Translation and purport by Divine University Bhaktivedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada. O Narada, because I have caught hold of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, Hari, with great zeal, whatever I say has never proved to have been false, nor is the progress of my mind ever deteriorated, nor are my senses ever degraded by temporary attachment to matter. Purport. The Lord Brahma is the original speaker of the Vedic wisdom to Narada. And Narada is the distributor of a transcendental knowledge all over the world through his various disciples like Vyasadeva and others. The followers of Vedic wisdom accept the statements of Brahmaji as a gospel truth, and transcendental knowledge is thus being distributed all over the world by the process of disciplic succession from time immemorial, since the beginning of the creation. Lord Brahma is the perfect liberated living being within the material world, and any sincere student of a transcendental knowledge must accept the words and statements of Brahmaji as infallible. The Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down directly from the Supreme Lord unto the heart of Brahma, and since he is most perfect living being, Brahmaji is always correct to the letter. And this is because Lord Brahma is a great devotee of the Lord who has earnestly accepted the lotus feet of the Lord as the supreme truth. In the Brahma Samhita, which is compiled by Brahmaji, he repeats the aphorism, Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I am a worshipper of original personality of a Godhead, Govind, the primeval Lord. So whatever he says, whatever he thinks, whatever he does normally in his mood are to be accepted as a truth because of his direct and very intimate connection with Govind, the primeval Lord. Sri Govind, who pleasingly accepts the loving transcendental service of his devotees, gives all protection to the words and actions of his devotees. The Lord declares in Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Kaunteha pratijanihi, O son of Kunti, please declare it. The Lord asked Arjuna to declare. And why? Because sometimes the declaration of Govind himself may seem contradictory to mundane creatures. But the mundaner will never find any contradiction in the words of the Lord's devotees. The devotees are especially protected by the Lord so that they may remain infallible. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always begin in the service of the devotee in disciplic succession. The devotees are always liberated, but that does not mean that they are impersonal. The Lord is a person eternally, and the devotee of the Lord is also person eternally. Because the devotee has his sense organs, even at the liberated stage, he is therefore a person always. And because the devotee's service is accepted by the Lord in a full reciprocation, the Lord is also person in his complete spiritual embodiment. The devotee's senses, being engaged in the service of the Lord, never go astray under the attraction of a false material enjoyment. The plans of the devotees never go in vain, and all this is due to the faithful attachment of the devotee for the service of the Lord. This is the standard of perfection and liberation. Anyone beginning from Brahmaji down to the human being is at once put on the path of a liberation simply by attachment in a earnestness for the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, the primeval Lord. The Lord affirms this in the Bhagavad Gita 14.26. Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samai samatityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Anyone therefore who is earnestly serious in heart and soul about being in intimate touch with the personality of a Godhead in the relationship of transcendental loving service will always be infallible in words and action. What big statement. Anyone, therefore, who is earnestly serious in heart and soul about being in intimate touch with the Supreme Personality of a Godhead in the relationship of transcendental loving service will always be infallible in the words and actions. The reason is that the Supreme Lord is absolute truth, and anything earnestly deviated with the absolute truth attains the same transcendental quality. On the other hand, any amount of mental speculation on the strength of the material science and knowledge without any bona fide touch with the absolute truth is sure to be a mundane untruth and failure. Similarly, due to not being in touch with the absolute truth, such a godless, unfaithful words and actions, however materially enriched, are never to be trusted. That is the purport of this important verse. A gain of devotion is more valuable than the tons of faithlessness. Om Ajnana-Vimirandasya Jnananjana-Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamanyam Dalati Swapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Udavadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavancha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raguna Tanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Varijanasayatam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamcha Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vrishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhaktashantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhurya Yevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhurya Yevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya Hemangadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasa Pradaya Shri Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Taddhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachit Upasana Vrajavadu Varagena Vakalpira He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Na Bharati Mengamrushopa Lakshate न वै कचिन्मे मनसो मृषा गतिः न मे ऋषिकानि पत्यन्त असत्पते यन्मे हृदौत्कण्ठ्यवता धृतो हरिः. O Narada, because I have caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord, Hari, with great zeal, whatever I say has never proved to have, nor is the progress of my mind ever deterred, nor are my senses ever degraded by temporary attachment to matter. So here, why Lord's devotees, they are not getting deviated by Maya, as explained very nicely by Lord Brahma, who is being a first created living entity in this material world. And he has this practical knowledge with him. And that's why he is explaining that why his mind is not getting disturbed, why his senses are not getting captivated by the material activities. All the three subtle elements, they are taken care by the Lord if you submit yourself at his lotus feet. Through Ashtanga Yoga, one can control his external body and senses, which are there for enjoyment. But by engaging in the service of the Lord, one can control his restless mind. As explained in the Amruta Bindu Upanishad, Manayeva Manushanam Karanam Moksha Bandhaye Bandhe Vishaya Sangat Muktaiva Niravishaye Manaha. If mind is not conquered or is fully engaged in material sense gratification, then it's very difficult to make a progress in spiritual life. Because mind is the prime cause of our bondage as well as liberation from this material existence. And that's why in Bhagavad Gita, every chapter you will find one verse where Lord explains everything whatever he wants to say about one particular thing. He says that unless and until one engages his mind in the service of his lotus feet, it will be very tough to control this mind. Only and only the Lord's devotees, they can control. Because Lord, he himself says that Maya adhikshana pragati suyatena charachara. Under my direction, this whole material world is working. And while staying in this material world, if we don't show any gratitude toward the Lordship for whatever he has done to illuminate our consciousness. So most important part is explained here in the purport, that the perfect liberated living being like a Brahma can give you a Vedic knowledge. The person whose mind, whose intelligence is situated at the lotus feet of the Lord, as here it is explained that earnestly he has grabbed the lotus feet of Lord in his heart. And because Lord is always residing in his heart, and he has that realization, because Lord resides in everyone's heart, but we don't realize that. And Brahma has that realization. That's why whatever he says, that should be accepted as it is. It should be considered as infallible. Why? Because Tene Brahmaruda Adi Kavaye Muyanti Yat Suraya. The Lord has manifested this Vedic knowledge in the heart of Brahmaji. It's not that he has heard that knowledge from Lord or he studied it. No. Lord has revealed that knowledge in his heart. And that's why it is a Paurusheya. It is not earned by own endeavor or own austerities. But because of Lord's mercy, Lord has bestowed Brahmaji with this knowledge in his heart. And Prabhupada further says, if somebody wants to get attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, then definitely he should follow this disciplic succession. We start from Brahmaji. There are different devotees of the Lord who, by their intent, attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord, they have got the love of Godhead. And naturally, the person, if he takes shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, which are considered as the only boat to save us from this material world, Yatpad Pallavai, what they say. In the other part of Srimad Bhagavata, it is explained that whoever takes shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, for him this whole material existence becomes like a footprint of car. And then that person can easily cross over that footprint. So same way, if we take shelter at their lotus feet, and because their heart is full with the love of Godhead, only they can distribute it to others. And Brahma knows very well that there is only one Supreme Personality of a Godhead, and that is Krishna. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on his South India tour, he came to Thiruvananthapuram, where he had a darshan of Padmanabh Swami. And 60 meters away from there, when you walk towards another temple of Lord Vishnu, Sarvodaksha Vishnu, that is Adi Keshava temple. And in that temple, it said that Lord Chaitanya has obtained or got this 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita. Where Brahma is praying to the Lordship. And he is establishing the whole Achintya Bhedavet Tattva in this particular prayers, which is known as the Brahma Samhita. At the end of each and every verse, he says that I worship that Supreme Personality of the Godhead, who is the primeval Lord, whose name is Govinda. So the word Govinda has 3 different meanings. Go means senses. Go means cows. And Go means Mother Earth. And Vinda means who gives pleasure to them. So Govinda means the person who gives pleasure to everyone's senses, who gives pleasure to Mother Earth by appearing on this earthly planet and killing all the demonic personalities and reducing the sinful weight of this personality. And that way he gives pleasure to Mother Earth. And he gives pleasure to everyone's senses. And as we know, in different ways, he gives pleasure to cows. By playing a wonderful flute, he attracts all the cows towards him. By patting them, rubbing them, taking them to the forest for grazing, he's taking care of them. And he is not controlling his own senses, but he also controls each and every living entity's senses. That's why he is known as a Rishikesha, the one who is the master of everyone's senses. And that's why it is said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Rochate. If you engage your senses for the service of Lord's senses, then they become perfect. They become purified. And with that purified body, there are a couple of devotees who has gone back home, back to Godhead with the same material body, without changing it. Otherwise, as we have read in previous chapters of this canto, where they have explained how the yogi who has attained perfection, how he walks through all the higherly planets and he reached at the border of material universal and spiritual world. And in between that, there one river flows, which is known as the Viraja. So the person once who has cleared of his mind from the material sense gratification, there is nothing, a tinge of attachment for anything in this material world. And as said, whoever has followed celibacy, those they get their own spiritual body on the bank of Viraja river. Then they cross and then they enter into the spiritual world. Sometimes we get puzzled by the instruction. This seems to be contradictory. One place, Brahmaji himself says, it's very difficult for the householders to go back and back to God, to reach there. Because that place is meant for Brihadavata Vratas, the person who had followed the vow of celibacy throughout life. And who is totally attached and totally attached at the lotus feet of the Lord and totally free from the material association. That person can go back home, back to God. On the other hand, the same Brahmaji is asking his sons to create progeny in this world. To create progeny means they have to unite with the female body. That means they have to have a sex. And again he says that without following celibacy, no one can go or no one can enter into the spiritual world. How does it happen? He says that unless and until who is totally renounced and has accepted the vow of lifelong celibacy, only that person can go back home. But we have practical examples with us. The people who have followed are the devotees, the great devotees, who had followed the path shown by a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. By following his instruction, all things has taken care. And that's why Prabhupada boldly says, Just follow this 4 regulative principle. Chant 16 rounds minimum. He said, it's my responsibility to take you back to God. Be serious and sincere, and you will go back. He's not putting conditions like a Brahmaji that you have to follow the lifelong syllabus, then only you can go back. He said, no. He says that just follow this 4 regulative principle. Chant the holy name of the Lord and dedicate all your services for the pleasure of the Lord. Then things will be taken care. Then at the end of this purport, Prabhupada explains about what sort of a devotional service that one should perform. Avyabhichari, which Lord has explained in the Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, text number 26. Vyabhichari means when one's mind gets diverted from the real purpose or real goal of a life, or the chastity of mind is not there, means my mind is not adhered to one particular thing. It is wavering here and there. If that sort of a mind is there, then it's very difficult to perform devotional service. But it should be, or it must be avyabhichari, without any deviation. As yesterday we were discussing from the 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, text number 14. Ananya cheta satatam yomam smarati nityashaha tasyaham sulabha partha nitya yuktasya yogina. There Lord says, Ananya cheta satatam. Ana anya. Ana means not. Anya means anything else. One should not keep his mind anywhere else. Ana anya. And that always, he should not keep his mind anywhere else at any moment of a life. And he should remember, Yomam Smarati Nityash, and regularly he should remember. बहुत नींद आ रही है, सुला रहा हूँ क्या सब? If we have such an attitude and think, then it's very difficult to understand anything. Yomam Smarati Nityashaha, who remembers me regularly. Tasyaham Sulabha Partha, for him I am easily attainable. Nitya Yuktasya Yogina, and such a kind of a yogi can attain me. And that person, as here it is said, his words never go false. His senses never get captured by the material allurement. And his mind never get wavered from the object. The person who is holding the lotus feet of their Lordship in his heart, for him this thing can happen. And with such a heart only you can perform devotional service. There is a very important last line of this purport. Prabhupada said, a grain of devotion is more valuable than the tons of faithlessness. The whole world is full of people who are faithless. But if someone develops devotional service for the Lord, by the causeless mercy of devotees, then definitely he can go back to that. Correct. So any doubt, any question? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की श्रील प्रभुपाद की